What's up, you guys? I'm gonna try this one more time. I try to do a live stream on my way up here. I'm in Las Vegas, Sin City as they call it, and for some reason the audio was really bad. And as I was traveling, the audio didn't pick up at all on one of these videos. So I want to go ahead and talk about Creed 2, but before we do that, I want you to go ahead and subscribe to my channel and also click the bell button next to it so you'll get any updates of anything that I'm putting on there. Um, I'm going to also do a video where I'm talking about scripts and step by step, how do you develop a script? Step by step, how do you create your characters? How do you create your antagonist, protagonist, put together an outline? So the first video I'm going to do deals with developing your outline, and specifically what do you do in order for you to develop your outline. And I'm going to go through that. But in the meantime, let's talk a little bit about Creed 2. I saw the first Creed movie when it came out in 2015, and I thought it was actually very good. I was skeptical because it's a spinoff of a very exhausted series, Rocky. Although Rocky, the sixth Rocky movie, Rocky Balboa, actually ended on a high note. Um, it went back to its roots. The Rocky Six or Rocky Balboa went back to its roots of having that underdog story that you saw with the first one, and it was quite different from all the sequels because as the sequels progressed, they got more and more Hollywood, more and more over the top, more and more outrageous, one after the other. And Rocky Balboa actually went back to its roots of showing Rocky as an underdog. And with Creed, that was directed by Ryan Coogler. He did that before he actually did Black Panther. I thought he hit the ball at the park. It was a good film. It was actually one of the best films I thought that came out that year. Um, and the latest Creed film, surprisingly, is just as good as as um, as the first Creed movie. It's just as good, and in some ways, actually better. Um, One of the things I'm going to have to say, just thematically, and me as a perfect a person of African descent, I'm going to have to say this and put that out there. One of the things I liked about this particular Creed movie is the same thing I liked about the first Creed movie, and that has to do with the relationship between Michael B. Jordan's character, Adonis Creed, and Tessa Thompson, because they have a very nurturing, positive, respectful relationship, and it's a good illustration or a good representation in cinema of a nurturing and positive black couple, which is something that you don't see in cinema as much as we should see it. I mean, a lot of times they like to portray us being dysfunctional. They like to portray us at each other's throats. You got these TV shows where they have the gender warring going on, but this particular movie showed this black couple, and both of them are trying to excel in their chosen crafts with Michael B. Jordan's character, him trying to become a boxer, and Tessa Thompson's character trying to become a recording artist, and they loved each other and they respected and supported each other. That's something that I love to see, and we need to see more of that in cinema. We need to see more of that. We've seen enough of the representations of the ratchetness and us at each other's throats and gender warring and people and you having black men saying they want nothing to do with black women and vice versa. We have too much. We have enough of that. So I appreciate the fact that they had a film that actually depicted this black couple that was supporting each other and loved each other, and that was a great thing. I mean, like you saw with the first Rocky movie, with the original the original Rocky movies, that was kind of the heart of the story, was the relationship between Rocky Balboa and his wife Adrian, and you saw this with with Michael B. Jordan's character and Tessa Thompson's character, and that was one of the things I really liked about that film. Um, Also, moving on, I also like the fact, and if you haven't seen the film, I'm trying not to give too many spoilers, but I'm going to give some. I like the relation. I also liked how they portrayed the Ivan Drago character and his son, because if you watch the original um, movie where Ivan Drago shows up for the first time, which is Rocky Four, he's presented as this carbon copy villain, and he's almost cartoon-like. But in this film, you kind of see the aftermath of everything that happened to him after that event, after he fought Rocky. All these years, and he was disgraced and humiliated, and basically became an outcast from his own people because the whole entire country had their pride on his shoulder, and he failed to deliver. And he's trying to regain, some of that glory and respect that he lost. I mean, you see him you see him in the open scene. He's training his son. His son is out there working out, and he's angry and frustrated at the fact that he's been disgraced because of what he failed to do in the United States, and he sees this as a golden opportunity for him to get his life back on track. I thought that was that was a very interesting twist they had in this particular depiction of Ivan Drago. You give it, it gives you a little backstory for his character, and you actually don't hate his character. In some ways, you feel sorry for his character, him and his son. Because when you see his son, the son is working in some factory, and they go to a party, and his mom, and who is Ivan Drago's ex-wife, she's with another man, and they're ostracizing them. So it was very interesting to see that. Very, very interesting to see that, and you see that the Drago name has, and they're trying to redeem themselves. And Drago actually changed at the end, because in the very beginning he was full of hate, and at the end he understood that that all this hate that he was projecting towards the Americans, and he was seeing that these people whose approval he wanted so much didn't really care about him at all, and at what cost is he going to try to get these individuals' approval, even if that means the death of his son? And that was the thing I took away from that at the very end. And I thought that was an interesting plot twist. I think this film, it was very, very well directed. I think the direction of this movie was great. In some ways, it was better than even what Ryan Coogler did in the first Creed movie. It was more emotional than the first Creed movie. And the theme of this Creed movie was not with the first one, where he was trying to make a name for himself in terms of be his own man from his father. But in this movie, he was trying to see whether or not he can live up to his father's reputation and the Creed name, and basically fight for himself and not fight for his dad. So I thought that was an interesting dynamic that went along, with that film. Michael B. Jordan, I think, is a very, very good actor, very dramatic actor. Same thing with Tessa Thompson. Stallone is always good playing his signature role, Rocky, and I think you have some really good performances in this film. I want to go back and watch it again, actually. I want to see it again to see some things I probably didn't pick up the first time. But I think that I think that Creed is one of the best movies I've seen so far this year, and I definitely give it an A+. The only thing, looking back at it, that well, actually, I can't think of anything that was wrong with it at all. I thought that it was as perfect and as good as films get. So I give it an A+. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit about that. That's my review. Tune in. I'll give some more reviews. And again, I'm going to start my series on my channel discussing and dealing with the art of screenwriting. And where do you start? What's the first thing you do? How do you develop and craft your story, your outline, log line, explain what that is. This is a masterclass for beginners who have no idea how to write a script, and I'll get into more aspects of filmmaking, okay? So go ahead and subscribe, like the channel, share, go ahead and push the bell button, and I will talk to you soon. This is Hebrew Productions. Later.